What's up guys, Josh here, 6 Up Tabletop. New video, got the Blood Sisters, Daughters of Khaine. In my opinion, actually one of the best units, secretly one of the best units in the army. Or if you play them, maybe not so secretly, or if you played against them, not so secretly. In my opinion, I think they're a very versatile unit. They have good rend, good consistency with their attacks, and they have mortal wound output with good health and a decent save. So I'll explain that all, we'll hop into the video, hopefully make it real quick, take a look at some of the units, see what we got going on. This is Blood Sisters, Daughters of Khaine. Appreciate you guys taking a look, and let's hop right in. Alrighty, got some of the Blood Sisters. Basic scheme I went with, like glowing eyes. Snow, I built a Daughters of Khaine army. These are pretty awesome models. A little compliment on the scales there. Their armor. So pretty basic tabletop standard. In my opinion, this model's cool. It's got the heart. So yeah, let's take a look at their stats and look at these units. As I stated in the intro, they are actually one of my favorite units to play. With the Daughters of Khaine. I think they're very versatile and definitely provide a lot to the army. Alright, Blood Sisters, 5 more models. They have the Heart Shard Glaives and they have their Crystal Touch. Take a look. So they have an 8-inch move, which is actually pretty high for non-elite infantry. Or excuse me, for elite infantry. 8-inch move is actually really good. 2 wounds each and a 5-up save. 5-up save, you know, is obviously not the best with 2 wounds, but usually you'll either be running them separately, so you will have the 5-up save, but they also get the 6-up feel no pain for being Daughters of Khaine, or you'll run them and they'll be by your Blood Rack Shrines, and then they'll have a 4-up. So 2 wounds on a 4-up save is super good. Bravery 8 is also pretty sweet if you run them in squads of 5 or 10. Usually you don't lose too many, in case you take bravery test. The leader, yeah, we kind of went over, as a Gorgai. I believe that's pronounced correctly. But yeah, pretty close up there. She's cool. Designated by holding the heart, as they are Blood Sisters. She added 1s to hit rolls for all hits, including Crystal Touch and your Heart Shard Glaives. So yeah, the glaives right there, basically pretty much the only kit option. You can run them in the box. You can also run them as the sisters that have the bows. But the glaives have a 2-inch range, 3 attacks, 3s to hit, 3s to wound, red -1, 1 damage. Now this right here, this is like the butter profile. 3 attacks. Right now I got 15 attacks. The leader hits on 2s. Everyone else hits on 3s, which is really great. And then wounds on 3s, like perfect profile. And then especially if you get farther into the battle rounds, like round 3 or 4, you're re-rolling 1s. If you're Hagnar, you're re-rolling all hits. And then round 4, you're re-rolling 1s to wounds. So you're basically hitting on 3s and re-rolling 1s. Late game, red -1 is awesome. 1 damage. You know, 15 attacks coming out. Most of them are going through. It's not the biggest damage profile, but they're extremely reliable for doing damage. When I've been playing this army, I found that, you know, the Blood Sisters, one of my main reliable sources of damage. The Crystal Touch is awesome. So basically the ability says, it's called Turn to Crystal. Each time you score a hit with a Crystal Touch, the target suffers 1 mortal wound. And basically the profile just says it's a 1-inch range. So it's not the best if you have you guys like this, because they won't be able to get the 1-inch. So it's best to have them all spread out like this. Sometimes it's not always viable or even likely, just due to basically how the units touch or how your charge worked out or pile in or whatnot. But if you can, if you can have them all piled in, then that's awesome, because then they get 5 attacks. It's just 1 attack each, hitting on 4s. And then if you hit 4, 5, or 6, it's a mortal wound. So that's awesome. And then, of course, the Gorgai hits on a 3, even better chance of getting a mortal wound. And then later they get their buffs, rerolling, you know, 1s and such, or Hagnar rerolling all hits, making them really great mortal wound outputs. They're extremely good due to that flexibility of having a lot of, maybe not the most highest damage, but very consistent red -1 attacks, and being able to mix mortal wound output. It's very hard for the enemies to choose which units they want to fight them, because if they send stuff with high saves, you have your mortal wounds. If they send stuff with, you know, better saves against your attacks, you have your mortal wounds. If they have stuff that can ignore mortal wounds, or they have really high wound count models that where mortal wounds don't count as much, you also have all your 15 attacks going into those models. So super great. And then we'll go over one quick bonus, the temple nest that you guys can run these in that might be useful for your games.
All right, really quick, Blood Sisters. Right there, units of 5, max 20, 140 points, which is very reasonable for what they do. And then you get that 480 for that unit of 20. And they could also be run if you have the Allegiance and your general is a blood rack Medusa. Now here's what I was talking about. Pretty interesting. Daughters of Khaine. You can use this if you have 1 blood rack Medusa, 2 units of Blood Stalkers, which are the bows version of these, and then 2 units of the Blood Sisters. And then basically the ability is lethal transfixion. Each time your opponent makes a hit roll of 1 when attacking the Temple Nest unit in combat phase, the attacking unit suffers 1 mortal wound after all his attacks have been made. Yeah, really good. If you can commit resources into running this Temple Nest organization, it'll be really useful to run with these gals, as like I said, giving them additional mortal wound output is incredibly good, and this helps shore up their damage against horde enemies that deal a ton of attacks. They can save a ton, and then they also be able to reflect them back, and you know, it's really good. It makes them scarier to attack, to face off with. Alright, Joshua 6 up tabletop. Got the Daughters of Khaine. We're looking at the Blood Sisters. Hope you guys found this useful, and let me know if you guys have had as much success with this unit as I have on the battlefield. Until next time, take care.